Okay. Now this is kind of sad, so this video is going to be a little bit we're going to keep it more chill and more relaxed because the great Bruce Willis is having some problems. Apparently he's going to retire. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you for clicking on this video, like the channel, subscribe to the channel, I mean, click the little bell. Um the thing about it is when you're in your 30s, you start to see the people that you grew up with, you start to see them decline. Like you really do. Like a lot of people have died. I mean, I know Robin Williams was a while back, but when Robin Williams died, I don't know. It was a tough day because Robin Williams had so many good movies in my childhood. And you lose that. Like, yeah, of course, you never really notice that a celebrity is alive. It's not like you keep up with them on the regular, unless a lot of people do because of the new day and age. But I mean, like, as in, like with this, like with Bruce Willis, I remember very recently, and it does actually say that in the article. I remember very recently that I used to say, why is Bruce Willis making all these weird ass movies? Like that's what I used to say. Like why are all these Bruce Willis movies like they almost seem like they're those straight to VHS. You remember those? That's what it seemed like. And now apparently we're finding out why. Excuse me. From the LA Times, concerns about Bruce Willis's declining cognitive state swirled around sets in in recent years. I mean, it explains everything. It really explains everything because he was making these movies that you just, like, you were kind of like, what the hell is this? Why is he making this? Like, what is the point for him to make a movie like that? And apparently this is why. Let's see. Let's start from these are just some excerpts from the article from the LA Times. Um Oh, here it is. On Wednesday, the public learned what he and many other filmmakers had privately been concerned about for years. The 67-year-old's family said he will retire from acting because he has aphasia. The cognitive disorder affects a person's ability to communicate and often develops in individuals who have suffered strokes. Damn. So that means he's had a stroke before. See, I didn't even know that. Like that's not something that's really been on the radar. You At least that I know of. That is so sad, man. Aphasia. I mean, ultimately, bro, all of our brains they're all going to go. Eventually we're going to get to an age where your body just stops working. You break down, your body breaks down, your mental state breaks down, and it's something that maybe that's why a lot of people have anxiety. Because like there's that inclination that's deep down inside your body, and that one day you're gonna die, and that's why a lot of people like they probably have a lot of anxiety, and that's horrible. I think anxiety is one of the worst things you can have because you can't do anything about it. I mean, there are exercises like I think grounding exercises and stuff like that. There is that, excuse me. But so apparently let's get back to the article. Apparently Bruce Willis was making 2 million per movie for 2 days of work. See, so what he was just a face. See, so they asked some people, these individuals questioned whether the actor was fully aware of his surroundings on set, where he was often paid 2 million for 2 days, according to the Viewed by the Times. Filmmakers described heart-wrenching scenes as the beloved Pulp Fiction star grappled with his loss of mental acuity and inability to remember his dialogue. Damn, that is sad. And then right here, right after that, an actor who traveled with Willis would feed the star his lines through an earpiece known in the industry as an earwig, according to several sources. Most action scenes, particularly those involved choreographed gunfire, were filmed using a body double. That hurts. That hurts a lot. I mean, this guy he was Die Hard. He was Die Hard with a vengeance. You know, this guy was the 90s practically and a lot of the 80s. It's just so sad. According to those who have worked with the elder Willis on his recent films, the actor has been exhibiting signs of decline in recent years. In interviews with the Times this month, nearly 24 people who were on set with the actor expressed concern about Willis's well-being. Gosh dang. That is so sad. And, you know, it's going to happen to all of us one day. It really is. I mean, look, one of the greatest of all time. Right there. But I think something like this, like the way that they said he got paid $2 million for 2 days. And then from what I read in the article as well, they didn't even let him work more than 8 hours. And usually he would only work 4 hours. So what's really sad about this is that you have people that used Bruce Willis like as a face. That's what they did to him. Like they would put his face on the movie poster and people would see, oh, it's Bruce Willis. We're going to watch that movie. But it wasn't really Bruce Willis. It was just his face. Like it was just him. So like, excuse me, it even almost seems like they were using him in his weakened state, like, you know. But then again, shit, $2 million $2 million for 2 days, that's pretty damn good. So that's true. So that's, I don't know. So thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you for staying with me on this one, this Bruce Willis story. I think it's just like I said at the beginning, you know, when you're in your 30s and you have all these people that you grew up with, and the people that are in their 20s now, they're going to go through it in 10 years. You know, the people that are teenagers now, they're going to go through it in 20 years, because that's what happens. Like as you age, the people that you grew up with are already over there. So they're getting older as you're getting older, but they're getting older. So that's why it's like you have people. I mean, some people like Betty White. That lady was supposed to be 100. She almost lived to be 100, but that's not common. I mean, that's Betty White. Like she's a fucking legend, you know. So, you know, as you get old, I think that's one thing that hits us all, like the mortality of the whole thing. The fact that we are gonna die. There is a time clock that we can't see. None of us know when we're gonna die. Like it's like, would you rather know how you're gonna die, or would you rather know when you're gonna die? See, that's something I don't know if I'd want to know either of them. But really, when you think about something like that, like, what does that mean, that it's set in stone when and how? You see, those kind of questions about the world, about the, like, you know, what is it, reality, those kind of existential questions, those are tough. Those are tough. And they hit you at like the worst possible time. They hit you like when you're stoned or when you're having a good time, and then all of a sudden you look around and you're like, holy shit, I'm gonna die one day. Out of nowhere, something like that can hit you out of nowhere. And you're like, and you realize this is all gonna be gone. You know, I mean, of course, there's the afterlife, and that's religion. We're not gonna talk about that. Everybody has their beliefs, and you're free to believe what you want. But as far as it goes, yes, this life that we are living together, all of us, eventually, every single one of us is going to finish this life, and it's going to be our turn to go. So that's why when you see someone like Bruce Willis, that is one of the greatest of all time, it's sad. Because that, like when I read that article this morning, I found it this morning, that's why I wanted to bring it to you today. I read it, and I read the whole damn thing because it was about Bruce Willis, and he's a big deal to me in my childhood, in my early teens and stuff like that, all through my 20s. So I was reading it, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna get to 67. Well, I hope. And then what? Like, I already forget things now. I already forget what I ate yesterday. Like, there will be some days where I'll be like, what happened earlier? Or what, like, like, I'll literally forget. And then I think about it, damn, I'm only going to be 35 this year. What's going to happen when I'm turning 50? That's what's crazy. That's what's crazy. Oh, well. Look, all I'm going to say is I'm going to end it with a shout out to Bruce Willis. That guy is the man. He will always be the man. After he passes, Lord willing, that's in a long, long, long time, not anytime soon. After he passes, he's going to be a legend, icon, you see. So shout out to Bruce Willis, because he is basically what America was. And if you kind of look at it, I'm not going to go political, but if you look at the state of the country we're living in, I guess it kind of does seem like it's Bruce Willis. Yeah. Interesting. But that's for a totally different channel. We don't do that on this channel. So thank you for liking and subscribing the video. Thank you for clicking on the video. It's sad, man. It's sad. Bruce Willis is a king. He's a legend. He's an icon. He's everything. But we all fall apart, and we all eventually go, right? So yeah, like I said, thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you for staying with me this long. I know this video was a little somber, kind of, but hey, man, sometimes you have to face some of these realities. I'm glad you and I could face it together. So we'll see you next time.